Last time out in Rise of Glory, we had just had a youth intake and it's actually gone up and become better as we're signing the younger talent that's come through our system. It was a 2-star intake before, however it's now a 2.5-star intake, and that is a promising sign. We've also gotten to the cup final, so how have we been doing in the games we've had since then? We took on Serang in the first game and beat them by 4-0, Ivanovic getting a hat-trick in the first half, and it was a very comfortable game and one that I felt more comfortable rotating the squad around as soon as we were this clear in front. A good end to the regular season and something we need to utilise for our momentum going into the championship group. In the first game of the championship group, we beat Genk by 2-0. Both were scored very late on and after we made some tactical adjustments, and it was good enough to ensure a victory here in a match that we definitely knew would set the tone for how we would perform later on. The question is, did we continue our good form after this match? Unfortunately not. Club Brugge scored in the 90th and 91st minute of the game to ensure we were beaten by 2-0. I might have changed my tactics a bit too aggressively towards the end of the match to ensure we were beaten. But at the same time, I felt that we weren't getting any better and we needed to make some changes to get something out of the match. So perhaps I should not have changed anything at all. Their player of the match came off from the bench and got 2 assists. So it was very unfortunate that we lost by 2-0 here. Even if the stats of the game paint a very different story. We then took a Hen and we beat them by 2-0, 2 late goals again, this time from Ohio and Belarusia. 2 goals we needed to keep our momentum going and to bounce back from our 2-0 defeat against Club Brugge. Something we'll have to continue to do if we want a chance for the title. We then took a MacLeod and we beat them by 3-1. Bielsa getting a hat-trick to break the record for most goals in a season by a semi-late player in recent times, and it was a good result, especially when we needed to come back and continue our winning form. They had just 2 shots on goal and on target. They scored with 1 of them. Unfortunately, we couldn't beat Anderlecht and we had to come from behind to get a point here. So one could say it was disappointing, but we definitely deserved more from this game than what we got in the end. If you look at all the average ratings and the stats of the match, then we deserved to win this game. But for some reason, we just couldn't get the result we needed and it was very disappointing. The last game we had before we met up for the cup final was a 4-2 victory against Genk, where we came from 2-1 down to win 4-2. A great comeback and a great performance to ensure we got all 3 points, and perhaps the second half was what we needed after a very poor first half. They had just 3 shots on goal, 2 on target, so Toro wasn't at his best here. As things stand, we're actually now only 8 points behind Club Brugge, but with 4 games left. We play them twice in the next 2 games. I'm only going to show the cup final because I don't think the league is possible anymore. They are still unbeaten after all. If we had not lost to them, it would have been a very much a different story and we would have potentially been only 5 points off the pace. So it could have changed how this season was going to end. But unfortunately, I think we're not going to get the title after all. We have at least guaranteed a top 4 place, which pretty much means we will get second place regardless now. I've also made some signings for next season. Not that we'll be seen for a while, but I thought it was very exciting what I've done. Pavel Skupil was the first person we signed. We signed him for 2.9 million and he will arrive in the summer. He was in the Next Gen Award and we signed him when he turned 17. For his £2.9 million asking fee, he wanted to leave his current club and we just went in and made the offer. He hasn't had the best of seasons right now, admittedly, and he does have adaptability issues, but if you look at the attributes of this boy, I think he's going to be worth the price we're paying for him, and he's one of 3 players we've already agreed deals for. Alex Perez is the next person we're signing, and we're signing him for just 1.4 million to join our midfield. He's outstanding, and I think he'll absolutely perfectly fit our midfield, good on both feet, so we can just rotate either side if he wanted to. He gets into the opposition area and he dictates the tempo, so could even play further back if we really wanted him to. Not that that's the plan or anything, that would be very, very silly. He's also only 20, so he'll hopefully be able to help with the homegrown rule further down the line. But perhaps the most exciting talent of them all is Miodrag Radic. We have officially agreed to sign him for around £6.25 million in guarantee fees, with an extra £2 million down the line. To get this kind of talent for such a cheap fee represents great value for money in my mind. And he's only 18. He turns 19 in the summer. So quite frankly, he's outstanding. Yes, he's outspoken and is unsporting, but that is probably the only negative I can really speak for here. He doesn't even need to be registered at all. So he's really, really good. And he's going to be joining Rasmus Rowe, who is already good enough to make the top 3 in the Next Gen award. So, this is exciting, isn't it? Rasmus Rowe gained a top 3 finish in the Next Gen. He's already considered a good player for this division and will be considered a leading player in the future. But between him, Nielsen, and Radic, we've got our defense sorted out for life, surely. Because we've got so many young talents that can just do amazing things at Stade Liège in the future. But today, it's the Croky Cup final. Stade Liège have lost this final more times than they've won. They've been in the final 18 times, won just 8 of them, and lost 10. It's the first cup final appearance since 2021, and it's my first opportunity to win a major piece of silverware in my career. It isn't my first cup final, so I also want to continue my winning record in cup finals, having won the EFL trophy early in the save. However, we are going into this final with a few injuries to talk about. Ivanovic is injured. He's not fully fit, and in fact is probably not even fit enough to potentially be on the bench. That's how bad the injury was. Bijorano is out for another 1 to 3 days, so he's missing the final as well, as is Greg Taylor. He's out until tomorrow, so that's 3 big hitters already out of the final due to injury, which means our lineup is going to be this: Tor, Manuba, Nissan, Rue, Pada de Silva, Urbanski, Francicone, Di Bartolomeo, Carlos Borges, Galiti, and Sam Biesma will start today. On the bench, we've got Popper, Comateo, Matata Pepper, Belarisha, Ilic, Ivanovic, so that might be a questionable decision. I might actually just change that now and have the Donom on the bench instead. And we have Ohio as well. So we're going into this final and we're hoping we can win. So, can we do it? Let's find out today. And Borges is injured already inside just 5 minutes, so that's not a great start. And for whatever reason, the players are just falling apart right now, and I don't know why. Ilic is going to come on from the bench though, and hoping this is not going to be a costly error or costly injury here. They got a throw though, and I really think we can do some good things here. Though Pellegrini is on the ball, don't dive in, played in the middle, and Toro is considered immediately. 10 minutes in, and Sabari has scored a goal, and I honestly think the injury might have caused a problem here. And the fact we're already 1-0 down is not ideal. I generally thought going into this final we had a chance to do some good things, but I think it might not be the case. We might be able to lose our first ever cup final in Belgium. And could Tour have done more of that? I don't know. So half time, it's 1-0. We've not really seen anything from this, and that's a disappointment. And I generally thought we could actually at least cause problems. I've not seen any of these shots, but apparently there's a shot saved, which is very, very bad, and the other shots have been blocked. So we need to do better with these opportunities, and it is a bit frustrating that we're not really doing what I feel we can do. Okay, we've got a highlight. It's only the second highlight I've seen in the final so far, but Pada de Silva finds Gillardi. Here's Di Bartolomeo, and that's not a great pass, and I know we're better than that. It's frustrating, I know. We're better than what we've been showing here, and it's only Club Brugge that really has a number at this point, but they are also the best team in the country at this point in time. But here we are again on the ball. If we get a goal and equalise, then it changes the complexion of the match completely, and that's a red card. That changes it just as much as anything else. Okay, that's useful. Pellegrini's off. We've got a highlight now. We are up a man. We've got the numerical advantage here. And I've made 3 changes. Here's Ilic on the ball. And what can he do? Play the cross. Francicone denied. And I don't know how it's not gone in. We had an opportunity. I'm going to take Francesconi off though, because he is tired. Mateta Pepper's going to come and we're going to swap those two around and we're going to see what happens now. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. I've lost the final. My first ever final loss and very frustrated. I know we could do this. That's the worst thing about this. As soon as we went down in men, I knew we could do something, but for some reason we just couldn't create the chance after that really bulky highlight where we just had 2 shots blocked, but we have failed to deny Club Brugge a League Cup double, and that's the frustrating part here. We've gone to the final and we've lost it. And this is going to hurt more than anything else, I think, at this point. The fact we got to the point where we can win the first major piece of silverware and we've still failed. Hopefully, I think we still get to take part in the Super Cup next year anyway because they have the League Cup double. But very disappointed we lost this game. I really am. Either way though, 1-0 loss. Could we have done more? And yeah, the loser final is not ideal, especially to a rival like this, but we can do more, I think. Borch is out for 3 to 6 weeks anyway, so it's actually quite a nasty injury. So, while it's not been amazing, it's still going to be a pain to replace him, I think. And I look at this and I wonder, what could have been if we didn't have all these injuries causing us problems, but I guess we got next year to worry about that, I suppose. But yeah, we are going to end this here. I hope that you guys have enjoyed yourselves. I hope you guys will like and share this video and that you subscribe to the channel. It really does help me a lot. What do you think of our season? While we got knocked down the league phase of the Champions League, we got to the final of the Cup. We're in 2nd place again, which is guaranteed almost at this point. And I feel like we've got something to work with, especially with the signings that we've already made for next season. I like where we're going and I hope we can do more in the future. But anyway, until next time, goodbye and well, good night.